Ukrainian defenders captured a group of Russian occupation forces on the Pokrovsk front, the Spartan 3rd Operational Brigade of the National Guard of Ukraine reported. According to National Guard troops, a group of 5 Russian mercenaries attempted an assault, but, after coming under heavy fire, took shelter in a private house. Unable to continue fighting or retreat, they voluntarily surrendered. Another Russian soldier, the only survivor from his assault group, wandered between houses for 6 days. When he realized no help was coming, he decided to surrender, Ukrainian troops said, releasing footage of the incident. As a result, Ukrainian forces added 6 more Russian soldiers to the exchange fund. Pokrovsk's military administration chief, Serhiy Dobryak, said the front line was just a few kilometers from the city, with nearly all critical infrastructure destroyed. The Ukrainian military reported that Russian forces had changed tactics in the area, attempting to bypass the city from the south and west to advance into Dnipropetrovsk Oblast. Ukraine's Khortytsia military group denied reports that Russian forces had entered Pokrovsk. Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Oleksandr Syrsky, stated that Ukrainian forces were making maximum efforts to defend the city. On February 2, reports emerged that an entire group of Russian occupiers, troops from Russia's 14th 47th Motorized Rifle Regiment, had fled the front near Pokrovsk. Khortytsia military group spokesperson Viktor Trehubov said Russian forces had suffered 7,000 irreversible losses on the Pokrovsk front in January, more casualties than in the entire Second Chechen War. Deep state analysts denied reports of the Russian occupation of Toretsk in Donetsk Oblast, stating that fighting is ongoing and Ukrainian forces are resisting. Deep state reported that fighting continues in the Zabalka neighborhood and on the northern and western outskirts, with Russian forces controlling nearly the entire center of Toretsk. Unfortunately, people are resorting to enemy sources due to a lack of trust in their own official outlets, analysts noted. On January 30, Yevhen Alkimov, an officer with the 28th Separate Mechanized Brigade, said the front line in Toretsk has essentially disappeared, with occupiers amassing manpower in the city before launching assaults. The Institute for the Study of War reported that Russian forces had made advances in the Kurakov and Toretsk oblasts and the center of Chasiv Yar, though Ukrainian forces had managed to push back Russian troops in parts of Toretsk. In Velika Novosilka, the enemy is using the local population as human shields. Russians are employing their favorite tactic. While moving through populated areas, they take civilians with them, putting their lives at risk, knowing they won't be fired upon in such circumstances. Russia has taken control of the Velika Novosilka stronghold, though progress along most of the front line has been relatively slow, according to a British intelligence report. The report also highlighted that Russia's advance accelerated throughout 2024, with over 700 square kilometers captured by November, marking one of the fastest rates of territorial gain since the conflict began. Additionally, in Kursk Oblast, Russia made minor advances in January 2025, while North Korean troops temporarily withdrew from the front line. The report speculates that this pullback was likely due to heavy losses suffered during attacks on Ukrainian positions, with the North Korean units expected to rest and re-equip before redeployment. Fighters of the 65th Mechanized Brigade destroyed a Russian Strela-10 air defense systems and a T-72 tank somewhere on the Zaporizhzhia front. The 65th Mechanized Brigade of Ukraine has become one of the key units in frontline operations, particularly in the Zaporizhzhia region, where it has played a central role in both defensive and offensive actions against Russian forces. Known for its adaptability and integration of modern warfare tactics, the brigade has increasingly relied on drone warfare to counter Russian armor and air defense systems. Operating with a mix of Western-supplied and domestically modified drones, the 65th Brigade employs a range of UAVs for reconnaissance, fire correction, and direct attack missions. Their FPV drones, often modified with anti-tank warheads, have proven especially effective against Russian tanks, armored personnel carriers, and supply vehicles. By using high-speed kamikaze drones, Ukrainian operators can guide explosives straight into weak points of Russian armor, such as engine compartments or turrets, causing catastrophic damage. This method allows the brigade to take out Russian heavy vehicles without expending expensive anti-tank missiles, preserving munitions while maintaining high levels of destruction. Against Russian air defense systems, the 65th Brigade employs more complex drone operations. Large surveillance UAVs such as the Leleka 100 or Shark drones provide real-time intelligence, locating Russian Tor, Pantsir, and Buk air defense units. Once spotted, Ukrainian forces coordinate artillery or HIMARS strikes, sometimes using drones to directly disable radar components or launchers. In some cases, drones bait Russian systems into revealing their positions by flying within detection range, forcing the enemy to engage and expose their air defense units to incoming missile fire. The Russian aircraft carrier, Admiral Kuznetsov, the only one in the aggressor country, has been rusting for 7 years and may never return to service. According to Defense Express, its repairs will continue to be delayed due to corruption schemes and embezzlement of funds. The Su-33 fighter jets, which were previously part of the carrier's air group, are now being used to escort two 95 MS strategic bombers. The only training facility for practicing carrier takeoffs and landings is located in occupied Crimea, near the city of Saki. However, the Su-33 jets themselves remain in northern Russia. At the end of 2023, it was revealed that they had been decommissioned and reassigned to form a separate mixed aviation corps for the Northern Fleet. A tank unit was formed as part of the Ukrainian Special Operations Forces, namely the 4th Ranger Regiment. The Ranger Corps began to be created in the structure of the Ukrainian Special Operations Forces in 2023, similar to the units of the same name in the U.S. Special Operations Forces. They specialize in reconnaissance, operations behind enemy lines, and assault operations. In addition, one of their key tasks is to support friendly forces with heavy equipment and artillery, so equipping them with tanks is a logical extension of the Corps' deployment. The video shows a tactical game of the 4th Regiment involving its tank unit with T-64BV and T-72AV tanks. One of the vehicles bears the symbols of the Kursk military grouping. It is unclear why two models of poorly unified equipment of the same type were given to one unit, as this will create problems in logistics and technical support. Last fall, Ranger regiments also began to be equipped with heavy equipment, including modernized BMP-1 infantry fighting vehicles. The units also have highly mobile wheeled vehicles, Polaris buggies, Humvee armored off-road vehicles, and Kozak 5 armored vehicles. Given the equipment, different Ranger regiments can be formed separately for rapid raiding operations with light vehicles or full-fledged assault operations. The exact composition and organizational structure of the Corps is under a veil of secrecy. There are plans to form at least 4 units within it: 4, 5, 6, and 7 separate regiments of the SOF Ranger regiments. To date, military chronicles show the activity of the 4th and 6th regiments, which are participating in battles in the Kursk region. Russian sources say that Ranger Corps units took part in repelling the summer Russian offensive in the north of Kharkiv region, as well as in the Kursk operation. At the beginning of the latter, they distinguished themselves by using the tactics of small assault groups, acting in close cooperation with electronic warfare units to neutralize enemy aerial reconnaissance and under the cover of their own attack UAVs. Ranger units are currently engaged in sabotage activities, setting up ambushes behind enemy lines, and penetrating enemy positions for cleaning up.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week, it's 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.